Thank you for clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movies, reviews, and more bonus video. Yeah, I'm talking bodies, bodies, bodies. This is the new A24 horror movie that hit theaters last weekend. I finally got a chance to see it. Wasn't sure if I was going to be seeing this one or not. I figured, but it looked interesting. When I first read the title, "Bodies, Bodies, Bodies," it piqued my interest, and then the more I read about it, the more I got interested and went. If I find myself with the free time, I'll go and check it out and post my thoughts. So I went and checked it out, and now I'm posting my thoughts. See, that's how it works. That's how it works. Um, Overall, it was a pretty enjoyable movie. It's not so super long. It's an hour and a half, and it definitely keeps its pace up. Like the first hour, just kind of flies right through the movie, and the second half and the last half hour also moves really well, which is good. That's what you want this kind of a movie to do. You don't want it to linger. The basic plot of the movie is um, uh, I don't want to say our main character, but we have a woman who's bringing her girlfriend to a hurricane party, being thrown by a group of her friends that she's had for a very long time, who she hasn't seen since before she went to rehab. There's a lot of drinking and drugs going on, but the character who's gone through rehab is abstaining from those activities. Everyone's surprised that she's there because she didn't tell anyone she was coming or that she was bringing her new girlfriend. But there's a lot of tension between all the characters as you find out another one of their friends named Max um, was actually brought everyone to the house, but has left after punching the host David in the face. They decide to play a game called Bodies, 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 which is someone's a killer. You turn off the lights. The killer touches somebody. They play dead. You scream bodies, 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 and then you try to figure out who the killer is. Um, so they start playing this game, and the first body is found. They go through their accusation, which quickly turns into the characters are arguing amongst themselves, and just kind of throwing hate at each other as they're trying to accuse people of being the killer. Um, it all comes to a head when David walks off as they're preparing for their second round, which they have this weird thing they do before they start a round where they slap each other in the face as hard as they can and then take a shot. Except obviously the character who just went through rehab, they are not taking shots. Um, as they're doing this ritual, the power goes out, the generator dies, and they each go their separate ways to find a bathroom, find the generator, find David, finally B, who is the girlfriend from Russia. She is from Russia. She's not like a Russian mail order girlfriend. She just happens to be from Russia, and the girlfriend finds David staggering outside in the hurricane with a slashed throat. This raises the suspicion of everyone as they eventually find a Kiriki knife with blood on it. So they begin to speculate who did it. And that's kind of where I'm going to stop with the plot crunch, because that's where we get into the rest of this movie and everything that happens, which it's entertaining. It's an entertaining movie about, people who are basically, they start playing a real life version of Bodies, 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 where they keep finding bodies and making accusations and eliminating the people that they're accusing as as the night rolls on, all until you get the conclusion as to what's actually been going on, which was actually a very good conclusion. I read that the original draft of the script had a much different ending, and I think this was the right choice. Switching the ending was the right choice, because it's a much cleaner ending. It's a much more satisfying ending, especially because none of these characters are all that sympathetic. Um, you don't feel anything when any of them get removed from the story. Um, So it is one of those movies where it's got the rewatch value to rewatch it again and see it with the knowledge of how it ends. And it's not bad. It's not a bad movie as far as who done it film. It wasn't bad. It was fairly entertaining. I enjoyed it. Um, it was a very low key movie experience because there were only three other people in the theater with me, so it was very low key, but it was very nice. And again, it's an enjoyable movie. If you were thinking of checking it out, check it out. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It was pretty good. I don't have any rants about it. I don't have wait, no, wait. Pause. I do have I don't know how long a cell phone lasts when you have the flashlight and screen on. Um because that's basically what they use after the power goes out. Like they have actual flashlights. But 9 times out of 10, they set down the flashlights and they're just using their phone light. But one of the characters' phones survives until the next morning. Like, I feel like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours is how long her phone should have been dead. And her phone is a plot point for the ending of this movie. That's not really a plot point, but it's a device at the end of this movie to clean everything up. But it should be dead. There's no power. You never see her walking around with like a power charging station or anything else that would have been keeping it charged throughout this ordeal. But yeah, it's on because even at the end when it's daylight, you can still see the flashlights on. You can still see this phone has the greatest battery in cell phone history, and I think everyone needs this battery because it'll save lives. It'll save lives if you've got a battery that's gonna last. Let's be conservative here and say 5 hours. I'm being very conservative. From the time the power goes out until the next morning, I'm saying 5 hours. It's probably more, but I'm being conservative. If you got a phone that can keep the flashlight on for 5 hours and the screen, that battery saves lives. That's my only complaint about this movie is they relied on that too much. Like they show a ton of flashlights in the house towards the beginning because it's a hurricane party. So there is a table full of hurricane supplies, flashlights, water, full of supplies, batteries for the flashlights. But yet they're using their phones. Like go get a flashlight. Go grab a couple flashlights. Grab some extra batteries. Find pockets. Also, for some reason, one of the characters had their phone on a sling. Like it hung on their side and like it was a purse. It looked weird. It took me a minute to figure out it was the phone. It just looked weird. It looked off. Overall, though, it's a decent movie. I enjoyed it. Again, if you're thinking of going to check it out, I'd say check it out. I'd say if you're interested in Bodies, 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 go check it out. It's a decent film. It wasn't, again, it's only an hour and a half, and I only had one trailer for the version I saw, and that was for this prequel to X, Pearl, which I do want to see, because I did enjoy X. I have a review for X on the channel as well, back when I saw that, and I'll end up seeing Pearl. It comes out next month, and next month's a little sketchy for me, so I'll end up seeing Pearl. I'm just not 100% sure when. So I'll be dropping a review for that one as well. It's going to be weird watching, like, in the same calendar year, you get a movie and it's prequel, which is, it's the sequel. It's a sequel. It's a prequel. It's telling events before the original, but it's still it's still a sequel. It only exists because the original movie exists. So it's weird to see both coming out in the same year. I know why. I know the story behind it, and it makes sense. It's just weird to see. Even when they shoot movies, and these were movies shot back to back, you never see them come out in the same calendar year. Generally, they wait. But this one, they're just like, drop it. Get it out. Let's do this. Let's give fans more instead of letting them wait. But yeah. So check out Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It was fun. It was a decent movie. It was decent. All right. Again, Martin Prevost, Smashy Smashy Eggman, movie reviews and more. Check check out some other content. I have a review for Across the Universe that went up on Wednesday. I am not a fan of that movie. You can listen to it all, though, on that video. Plenty of other videos. I've been posting new movie reviews, a lot of them, over the last couple of weeks. So you can check those out, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night.